Hello and welcome back to Sunday Night Race Club. Try number 3. This seems, for me anyway, I don't know what is going on today with my OBS. It doesn't want me to do anything with it, so hopefully we're just going to be able to deal with this and, you know, it'll look a little bit better. So we're on board with GJ Dizzle at the moment. Grimmy has managed to go faster on a 1:33.523 in that time. I do understand that there was no audio in the last attempt at streaming, so hopefully now there is some audio and we can all enjoy the fantastic racing that is going on track at the moment. As I do know, my audio is now working now, so that is 10 times better for me. And we're just going to fix that quickly so you can see all the overlays. And I do now understand that we do have Sunday Night Race Club logo and everything now up on the stream, which is perfect for me. Every time I tab out, so I have to be careful with that. But Alex is in the pits at the moment, but Lord NL, he spun at the top hairpin, and he's going to have to be careful not to make a mess with it. He's damaged his front wing. It's not going well for him at the moment. In the Team Renault, his other driver, Lord Request, is actually at the bottom of the board at the moment. Parker is in the pits, and TTM Raleigh is going on his fastest lap at the moment, I do think. He can't manage to break that 1:35 at the moment, but he has. He's went a 1:33.722, which has put him third on the standings at the moment. He's got fastest third sector time out of all the drivers. So he's definitely managed to gain a lot of time through that sector there. As we're going to see, a few of the drivers are now on their outlaps. Jim is on his outlap at the moment. AMG Reckless is in the pits. I think he is going to be coming out. Yes, he is coming out. He's going to try one more lap. Lord is going to come into the pits. Interesting to see, because Parker is now kind of packed up behind at the moment. I think he's behind Kieran, which for him is not going to be good. It's not Kieran, but it is Jim, which is one of his rivals at the moment. So, are they going to give each other a tow down the straight? That will be interesting. Because Grimmy doesn't need that right now, and nor does Smithy. Smithy is, both of those guys, comfortable in the 1:33.5s. Definitely not the most comfortable you can be, but they are definitely in a position where they can go through first and second at this moment through this qualifying session. Hoonigan has just went fastest on 1:33.428 in his racing point. That is interesting. That could shake up the standings. The hope would be for Grimmy and Smithy to be able to push under the 1:33 barrier right now. The Red Bull driver now coming through the final sector. He's going to get ready to start his lap. We're going to jump on board with him for this lap and see what he manages to do. He's got clear air in front and behind. So this could be a good one. He's coming around into the third sector now. Let's see what he does here. He is conserving tires. He's conserving fuel. He's getting ready for this run. Hoonigan's still going for another run, which seems maybe a smart option for him. Smithy is going to be the first to start his lap here out of the top 3 runners. He's just using his gearbox, which is very handy when it comes to multiplayer. Here we go. We're off to start his lap now. On board with him in the Williams. Let's see how he does this. He's staying right onto the rumble. Nice corner. A little bit more rumble on the right. Let's see how he goes nice and wide round that corner. Just using gears, a little bit of dab of brakes to turn the car in. And he's going to bring the car down onto the first long straight. This is a big DRS zone. We can see a lot of overtaking is probably going to happen here. And he goes purple first sector. He runs a little bit onto the curb. He's still on though. He's almost taking the NASCAR line through there, which is a very good way to take it. Again, we're waiting for that DRS flap to slam open at this moment in time. Here we go. Wide open. He's down this long, bendy straight. Right down towards the brake markers. Very nicely done from him. He's going to just touch the curb on the inside. Help the car turn in. Let's see what he does in Sector 2. This is going to be interesting because that is just Grimmy just kind of coming in on his lap now. He is just behind. He is about 20 seconds behind at this moment. Nice use of the rumble strip. Nice use of the rumble strip again through there. He's going to take it nice and tight through there. He could maybe try to tie the car a little bit more up. And he's going to come into the final corner. And let's see what he does. He goes fastest on a 130 feet 189. Let's see what Grimmy does as he comes round the final corner himself now. Oh, he knows he can't go faster. So he's decided to drop it. That's interesting because that means now that Hoonigan is now P2 on the grid. What a fantastic start from him. A little bit of a gap in pace today. Probably about 5 seconds worth of pace to be exact. So we're going to see a lot of back markers, I can imagine, in this race. It's going to be a lord of attrition here through the Vietnam street circuits. Raleigh is in the pits now. All drivers have finished their runs that are driving. And here we go, top 10. It looks like Smithy, Hoonigan, and Grimmy for the top 3. Reckless just outside in top 4 now. Raleigh is P5. So again, quite interesting to see where all these drivers are going to end up in the race around Vietnam. Fun fact for everybody, this is the second time I've ever commentated around the Vietnam street circuit. So again, this is going to be interesting. Hopefully I can understand every part of the track. I've driven around it, I've seen a lot of information on the track, and I did quite a lot of studying. But here we go, we're going to carry on from our top 5 there. Parker is just on P6, 7th goes Jim, 8th is Kieran, in 9th we have GJ Dizzle, in 10th we have Alex, in 11th we have Lord, in 13th we have Mo, in 14th we have Fraser, in 15th we have United Aura, in 16th we have Lord Ricaz, in 17th we have EXO, and in 18th we have Bird. These two drivers unfortunately not managing to set a time, and they're going to have to start at the back of the grid. I hope everybody's day is going fantastic. Make sure to drop a message in the chat and just tell me how you guys are doing. If you've been doing a lot of racing today, if you've been doing much. It's been my father's birthday today, so we were away out. Obviously, restrictions easing again tomorrow, but we were away out enjoying a nice meal together at the local city, having a nice, I could consider it wine and dine, but you can't drink inside. And that's, that's the way it would be. And it was nice. And I'm nice and full, ready to commentate on this race in Vietnam. Again, unfortunately, it's just myself tonight, Andrew Gatton. Matty could not get off work tonight just due to the high demand. It's really nice down in Cheltenham. The rich boy that he is. So he's unfortunately had to stay on at work. But obviously, I can do the job of 2 commentators sometimes. And I think I'm ready to fill that gap today from him. And hopefully give you guys the banter and the enjoyment you guys also love in the Sunday Night Race Club. Again, if you haven't seen anything from the Sunday Night Race Club before, make sure to follow this channel and Sunday Night Race Club 2, where you can see constant racing throughout the week on both the Thursday nights and Wednesday nights, as well as Sunday nights, where you will see myself and Matty here, and I'm sure we have other commentators as well that do the Wednesday nights and the Thursday night race clubs as well. So make sure to tune in for those. Bang on same time, 8 o'clock every time on those nights. Give or take 5 or so minutes waiting for a few drivers. But we're just waiting for the drivers to now line up on the grid, and we're going to go through all the racing here. It's a wet Vietnam, which is going to be interesting, especially on the straights. How are drivers going to manage that dry line if there ever is one? And also, how are the drivers going to manage no DRS on those straights? Are they going to have to fuel save? Are they going to have to do many different things, but we'll wait and see, as anything can happen here at the start of any race at the Sunday Night Race Club. Again, I am your host, Andrew Gatton, or Lag Goose in streaming terms, and we will be watching through all of this enjoyment now. Make sure to go and give my channel a follow as well at Lag Goose. Trying to build the followers up on that as well. I do a lot of racing content and do my own party nights as well, where you can join in, play Among Us, and also play Jackbox if you're into some dark humor. But other than that, I'm here tonight with Sunday Night Race Club for this fantastic race in Vietnam. We're just waiting for everything to set up. While we're doing that, I'm just going to switch over to a main screen that I have set up, which that is not it. So yeah, that's what I have to deal with today. Unfortunately, my OBS decided it was going to have a little bit of play up with me as soon as I try to load things up, but hopefully we can get that rectified again for next Sunday when I come in from work, and we'll just get through all this racing as it comes at us. We're just waiting for a few of the drivers to ready up. We do get about a 5-minute comfort break after quali to make sure everybody's okay, get a drink and go to the toilet. Okay, so just been informed we should be ready to go racing within the next few minutes. Just a few drivers now just readying up and getting themselves sorted out. Bird is actually saying he's too slow for you guys up front, which is quite interesting because Bird was up there, especially in Interlagos, so we'll see what happens. Hoonigan was praising Smithy for his awesome lap. Exo and Bird said that they just didn't fancy a lap. They weren't feeling doing quali today. We're just waiting to see how everything goes. We should be ready to go in the next minute or so, as it is a 8:30 start. And there we go. Bird has given everybody the green light, and we should be ready to move. There we go. The countdown timer starts for all of this fantastic racing here at the Sunday Night Race Club. Again, I'm your host, Andrew Gatton, and I'll be taking you through this race today at the Sunday Night Race Club. If you've got any questions about the racing at all, make sure you throw it in the chat and we'll sort you guys out when it comes. But anyway, guys, let's get into this. We should be ready to go onto the grid for our banker lap, or what could be considered as a warm-up lap. We're starting on inters today, so the track is obviously not too waterlogged. A few of the drivers at the back of the grid now, just waiting to get going. We'll get ourselves sorted out for the race. Make sure that we've got the lap data and everything on for each driver, so you know who we are looking at on the grid. Actually, we're probably going to turn that off today. It'd probably be better to just leave that off so you guys can see the full action on the track. Oh, and one of the drivers has already spun out and actually caused damage to himself. Now that is going to be interesting. Both Exo and Bird have been disqualified from the session because they've just not been able to look at the track. So I'm not sure they should be able to race, but we'll see how that goes because it's just from the formation lap. Smithy taking very wide swerves down the straight to try and get a little bit of heat in his tires. He knows He's going to need to start slowing down a little bit because the longer he sits on the grid, his tires are going to cool down. And that is not what you want for the start of any race. Hoonigan starting in second. Very nicely done from him. Good lap. It's his second race with the Sunday Night Race Club. And he's just, yeah, I mean, he's just come in and he's done very well. He's fit right in with the top runners, giving us a bit more of a competitive spirit in the top. We obviously had about 4 or 5 drivers already, but that's added to the fuel and the fire. Two drivers to watch out for today, probably SNRC Parker in P6 and Raleigh in P5. These two guys, you know, they were just outside, but they were all very close together. And it would be interesting to see where these guys finish at the end of the race. Obviously, I know AMG Reckless from his racing at the Invictus Racing League, and he is a very efficient driver. He knows where he can and can't put the car in situations. Yeah, he only got a few races in with the Invictus before it got closed before the 2021 release of the game. And yeah, I think he's looking to do a lot more racing with the Invictus boys in the future. We're just waiting for all the cars to set themselves up on the grid. We're going to start watching from the middle of the pack, I think. The camera angles are not necessarily the best here, but we'll just watch from Lord onwards. So we're going to wait for the 5 red lights. When they come. I have no clue when they're gonna come, but they're, you know, we're just waiting. The game will do it eventually. The game is gonna do it. We're still waiting. On, here we go. We're still waiting on the grid for the 5 red lights. Now, this can't be me. Connection issue, if there is a connection issue. I'm just going to check Discord to see if I have missed anything. We're still waiting, actually. There's a driver who's got a bit of an issue. Yes. Just making sure everything is okay. So, a lot of the tires now just pretty much stone cold. Here we go. It is going to be lights out. And away we go for the Vietnam Grand Prix of Season 2 of Sunday Night Race Club. We got a fantastic start view there. Again, it's just a bit weird. Oh, and somebody's died already. 3-car pileup on the straight. A lot of damage to a few of the cars there. I think one of the Haas's just lost it off the start. Mo has got damage to the front of his car. A few cars now just... Yeah, there we go. The McLaren has been wrecked up on the front. Yeah, complete front right wing gone for Mo's Ferrari there. And front left gone for United Aura as well. He didn't get off very fresh off of the start. A few drivers, I think, just forgot that it was wet. And they were on Inter tyres, which are not necessarily the grippiest tyre in the world. But that's Bird already up 4 positions off the start, pretty much. And yeah, that's very nicely done from him. And we are a go again down the straight. Hoonigan is actually on the top row at the moment. He started in second. He has got past Smithy. Grimmy and Reckless having a little bit of a battle at the back there. As we see, there's a little bit of a dry line forming, but it isn't really dry. Let's face it, you know, we're not going to see a dry line forming as long as the rain is here. Hoonigan, a whole second up already on Smithy. And that's going to be quite interesting. I don't know if Smithy's got damage. Doesn't look like he does. Maybe he just got really slow off the start. Grimmy, however, is chasing down Smithy already, and he's being chased down by Raleigh, who has got past Reckless. Reckless must have made a mistake down in Sector 2 and has ended up losing the car somewhere. Hoonigan, solid up there already. I'm not sure how we're going to see him push even more through this race. It's going to be a long one tonight round the Sunday Night Race Club Vietnam Grand Prix. Grimmy, however, is nearly 3 seconds down, and Raleigh losing the back end again and again through Sector 1. That is interesting. That is very interesting. It also looks quite windy out there. That could be affecting the cars quite significantly, especially on the low-speed corners. And we see Reckless is really struggling there. He's struggling to keep up with Raleigh. Now, that could be his bane. He really might be struggling with this track's temperature and everything like that. Again, the only driver that we're going to see chase at the moment, it does look like it is Kieran 140 who is chasing down GJ Dizzle. Is he going to have a move on at the bottom of the straight here? No. He had a look down the outside line, but he couldn't make it stick. He's going to have to just stick behind GJ Dizzle in the slipstream and just continue on trying to make no mistakes. The 3 cars in that pileup, Alex, United Aura and Mo have all switched tyres and repaired their wing. They're only about 70 seconds down off of EXO, so they definitely still have a foot in this race. They only need to make up 8 positions in reality. If there are 18 cars on the grid, they have to make up 8 positions to get into the points. That's all you're looking for. We've had a little bit of a yellow flag run in here, but we're not sure what's going on. GJ Dizzle and Raleigh. Raleigh's had a bit of a mistake. I think he may have lost it. He's been having trouble with that back end all afternoon, evening. So I'm not sure if it just could be related to that. Raleigh's right up the back end of GJ Dizzle now. Got a yellow flag again between the 3 cars at the back. They're having a bit of a tussle. As I think Alex has made a mistake and he's went off the track, but we're not going to jump to that at the moment as we've got a little bit of a battle enveloping up here as Grimmy is still trying to chase down Smithy. He is just outside of his slipstream. There's not going to be a lot of racing here, but that is Alex now out. He's caused damage enough to his car. He has just crashed out. He's actually decided that he's had enough of the race, which is very much a shame. We don't like to see that here. But TTM Raleigh, at the moment, he's being hunted down by Kieran. And, you know, these three guys at the moment are in a position where they could be struggling. I know Hoonigan also made a mistake. He has, I do believe, not got any damage, but he made a mistake going deep into one of the corners. He has got damage. He's got right front end plate damage to that front wing. He's going to be losing a lot of downforce. Parker's trying to have a look down the inside. He can't make it stick. A little bit loose on the rear end. Parker's still chasing him down, though. There's not going to be much between these 2 guys. Now, as we see Hoonigan, he's diving into the pits to get a repair. We're going to just watch and see where he ends up coming out, as Parker's obviously up in front of him now. He's going to have some position now. Lord NL up in 6th position as well in the Renault. His Renault compatriot, Lord Rikas, down in 14th, not having the best of starts to this race. This is interesting. This is very interesting from Grimmy. He's trying to keep it, but Jim has had a little bit of a mistake there. TTM Rally is under pressure still as he's trying to chase down GJ Dizzle. It is going to be a 4-car almost slipstream down the back straight. Let's see what these guys can do. Into the braking zone. TTM Rally a little bit later on the brakes, trying to catch up on that speed that he's missing out on in the apexes. But here we go. Is he going to get that power down early? Or is he always lost 300 of a second through that sector? That is interesting. He's now going to have the trouble of Kieran, who's actually he's lost time as well. TTM Rally gaining time on GJ Dizzle down the straight line. All of these guys not preparing for a wet race, and they've got one, so they're all going to be struggling a little bit, it seems. As Hoonigan has actually come down in 15th. He's come out right in front of the 3 cars that had the damage at the start of the race, and they just seem like they are having a bad day. GJ Dizzle still pushing pressure on TTM Rally. We're going to jump on board and see how the difference ends up being down the straight line. Again, this could be very interesting towards the end of the race. Parker is a whole 4 seconds up on Raleigh at this moment in time. Sorry, 2 seconds up, 2.8. And Parker is 4 seconds behind Jim. So a bit of a gap developing. Grimmy just trying to stick to the back of Smithy's rear wing. He is just trying to conserve a little bit extra bit of fuel, you know? Gaining that extra speed where he can. GJ Dizzle still looking to have a... try and stay with TTM Rally. He's lost Kieran. Oh, TTM Rally makes a mistake. He's had to run low into that corner. The track doesn't look like it's getting any better out there. It does look very slippy. Kieran is still a whole second out from GJ Dizzle at this moment in time. So again, he's going to have a little bit of a problem when it comes down to pushing that car. And Grimmy looks like he is within a position of striking on Smithy at this moment. You see he's just right there, that scary Red Bull chasing down the also, well, not amazing Williams. But again, Fraser's getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I can imagine that's going to be the first of many this race. A lot of drivers will be trying to avoid the curbs, but sometimes you just do run a little bit deep. As we're watching down the straight now. Grimmy is in that slipstream. He's made up about 0.2 of a second in that straight line. We've got a yellow flag. As it looks like one of the Pink Panther Mercedes, Fraser, has DNF'd. He has crashed going into the pit lane. That is a catastrophe. I hope you guys got that joke. Otherwise, I'm going to sound very stupid. But that's Lord Requaz. Lord NL, sorry. He has went into the pit and come out just in front of the SNRC Jeremy and Bird. Bird all the way up in 11th already. So that's very interesting to see him up there. Smithy in a bit of a predicament still. He's got Grimmy on his rear wing. He's tried to stay within a second just in case that DRS does get enabled at all, but it's been raining the whole time. We have a safety car. These guys are going to bunch up, and we're going to see a little bit of the pack try to, well, I guess bunch up a little bit more than what they were. A few of the drivers not having the best of starts today, as it's a bit wet, but the drivers that definitely know how to drive are up in front at this moment in time. Bird is staying around about a second with Jeremy at the moment. They're just pushing through the pack as it comes. Exo's made up 2 positions, but not necessarily to any fault of his own. Smithy's just put his car into low fuel mode and he's just chilling for just now. He is running lean mixture on everything. Charging up his battery. He's actually going to come into the pits. That's a very interesting call as both him and Grimmy dive into the pits. They're probably going to jump onto a fresh set of tyres. I can imagine they're still going to be on inters. United are at the back of the pack at the moment. Again, he's not had the best of starts to today's race in that Papaya McLaren. I really do not know when we are going to see anything really change. All drivers pretty much diving into the pits. Jim and Parker, I think they decided to stay out. Smithy has started, he's actually pushed himself into P2 at the moment after that pit stop. Grimmy actually fell behind AMG Reckless, which could allude to some damage that he may have incurred in his car, or getting caught up in the traffic in the pit lane, which could have hindered his progress. But again, Parker now currently up into P3. AMG Reckless P4, and Grimmy running down in P5. So Jim currently leading the race for the first time in the Sunday Night Race Club Season 2. It'll be interesting to see how long he stays there. I don't know if we're going to see the safety car come in this lap. I don't see any reason for it to go for one more lap. Oh, a little bit of a slide there from Parker on the gas. I think he's just maybe trying to keep some heat in the rear tires. We're just waiting for all the cars to bunch up a little bit more. This is interesting. There's only about 4 or 5 cars. 6 cars make that are outside of this pack at the moment. This has reset the race pretty much from the get-go. Again, Jim not on fresh set, and nor is Parker. So that, again, could be quite interesting. Now, we know that the inters can last pretty much the whole race from now on. So this has been very strategic from Smithy and also Grimmy to come into the pits. They started this wave of pit stops going in. AMG Reckless staying out wide, trying to maybe cool his tires down a little bit, trying to stay out of the slipstream. Maybe he was just a little bit too hot on his tires at that moment in time. Again, I don't know why we've got a safety car for this lap. I would assume that the safety car should come in, but, you know, there is only so much you can do. As we're on board with AMG Reckless at the moment. Visibility isn't necessarily the best, so again, we'll need to see where we're at. There's spray coming right up onto the T-cam. You can just see how the drivers are going to be struggling as well to be able to see past all of that. But it does look like all the drivers that are meant to catch up have caught up, and I can see the safety car being in this lap. So yeah, it's been a very busy week for myself. I've had up and downs, done different things here and there to try and keep myself busy and on top of things. But yeah, it's one of those things that you all have to deal with. Fully back at work now, so got that workload piled on top of me as well. Safety car still hasn't been said he's coming in this lap. Yeah, so we've got another lap of safety car, guys. Not the most exciting of races, but we will we'll keep you guys entertained. Look, a few drivers have decided to go into the pits for a fresh set. It does look like Jeremy and Hoonigan have decided to dive into the pits. That'll be them set for the end of the race now. But there we go. That's actually United Aura now caught up with the pack. And that's the guys from the pit stop now pretty much rejoining the bunch of drivers. I didn't think there was that much debris on the track. Fraser pretty much crashed it into the pit lane. So, again, a bit confusing as to why we had 4 laps pretty much of safety car. Unfortunately, Codemasters, they made this game in such wonderful ways. Not even the commentators know what's going to happen next. So, again, we try and keep you guys informed. We try and keep you guys ready and on the ball. We've not had any crashes under safety car yet, which is pretty good. Bird now up into 9th position. Exo in 11th, as a few of the drivers obviously made pit stops. And without DRS, will these drivers be able to make the moves that they want? Safety car in this lap. Now that is going to be very helpful for us to know. Now we can basically say, there we go. Safety car is going to come in. We can just deal with it on the spot. Parker running in third at the moment. Jim has led 3 laps of this race. Now that, whether he manages to deal with that on the restart or not, it's going to be interesting because he's going to be instantly under pressure from Smithy in the Williams. Jim knows that Smithy is a fast driver, so he's not going to let him go that easy, I don't think. And here we go. He's going to fly around at the final corner. Smithy already looking to try and break toe and try and get out of the get Parker out of his slipstream. But he's now just behind Jim as we come down to the next straight. He's lost a lot of time going in there. I think he slipped the front tires a little bit coming into that corner. A bit of a lock-up from him. But it does look like it was a very safe restart. But down here, in the middle of the pack, we've got a lot of action right now as JG Dizzle, the other Mercedes driver, is being caught in traffic behind TT Amrale. Again, interesting here, Grimmy is under pressure still from the cars behind. He's not in a good position right now. He's trying to stay out of the toe around the corners so he can get the car turned in efficiently. But straight off the bat, he is met with a wall of water coming down to that long back straight. He has got an efficient slipstream. He has made up time on the straight. Will he be able to look down the inside? No, but he is later on the brakes than the car in front. Really nicely done from him. He's trying not to have any damage to his car. AMG Reckless is having to be very careful behind Parker at the moment to see where Parker is going to brake. But right now, that doesn't help Grimmy because that looks like Smithy is now gaining time on him. This is going to be interesting. Oh, and it does look like he just grazed the wall slightly, but he hasn't got damage. But TTM Raleigh still under pressure at the moment from GJ Dizzle behind. TTM Raleigh also putting pressure on Grimmy. But AMG Reckless getting past Parker down the main straight. Parker made a mistake coming into the final corner, and AMG Reckless, and it does look like Grimmy is going to try and get past his teammate, and he does. He pushed Parker to the inside line. Parker had nowhere to go, and that looks like TTM Raleigh's also got through. Well, that is very interesting to see. And is that GJ Dizzle? GJ Dizzle has also got through. Parker really messing up that first sector there. And Kieran's got past him. Has he got damage? He hasn't got damage, so I don't know what's happened to his car. But it does look like maybe the 10-lap old tires not playing the best of strategy for him on the restart. Here we go. Gribby having a look down the outside line. Is he going to have the better brakes? He does. So he's now got past Reckless. It's now on to try and chase down Jim, who's 1.5 seconds ahead. He has no slipstream. AMG Reckless, though, however, is not going to let him get away. It's going to be a hard push from Reckless to try and catch up with these guys. Raleigh is literally right behind Reckless as well. So these top drivers are in a really awkward position. Hoonigan already up into P11. He is chasing down Lord NL right now in the other Renault. And it does look like GJ Dizzle is going to have a move on Kieran. Oh, and it's very big. Squeeze too wide. Oof, that was very close. And it does look like Kieran has made a mistake and has had to almost give up that position to GJ Dizzle into the final corner. Very, very good driving from these guys. Grimmy going on a 150.0. Very nicely done from that man in the Red Bull. He's already closed down 3/100ths of a second on SNRC Jim at the moment. This is going to be a push to see where these two drivers finish. Smithy is about 2.5 seconds ahead of Jim. Make that 3.5 ahead of Grimmy. So this is going to be a very difficult push now for Grimmy to try and get that win off of Smithy. Grimmy is now going to try and stick into the slipstream of Jim, who is now lost a whole second in Sector 1. This is close. He's going to have a move. Let's just jump on board as he comes round. Oh, he taps the wall a little bit. A bit of a slide. We see the rear wheels. Now he's going to have the inside line almost cutting him off there. Good driving. Good defensive driving there from Grimmy. And there we go. He's got past Jim. There was nothing that Jim could do to defend that one. He may have been able to dive to the inside line, but that wouldn't have been the best idea for that corner. So Jim basically was left vulnerable there, as TTM Raleigh has got past AMG Reckless at this point. And AMG Reckless is trying to hold on. He is just under a second at this moment in time behind Raleigh. Same lap old tires. Let's see if he can try and stay in that slipstream just a little bit longer. He's a little bit later on the power than TTM Raleigh. Raleigh diving to the inside, trying to get out of slipstream. Now this could be quite interesting for AMG Reckless. If he can't get in front of TTM Raleigh, those season points will unfortunately not go to him today for P4. But Raleigh is also catching on Jim, and Grimmy is also catching on Smithy. So this is going to be close racing. Grimmy is just hunting Smithy down like a bull in a china shop right now, doing anything he can to chase him down. No drivers with penalties at this moment. A lot of the drivers avoiding those slippy curbs around Vietnam. We are just under halfway through this race. About 4 laps of this was done under safety car. Make that 5. AMG Reckless, he's just losing time to TTM Rally in the straights there. I'm not sure what else we can see, but Jeremy down at the bottom, and P14 is battling with Mo. Mo is on very old tyres at this point. Mo is going to have to pit again, it would seem. Mo having that kind of lap 1 incident. Oh, TTM Rally is catching up to Jim. I just saw that in the corner of my eye. Let's keep watching this battle as they come down the main straight now. The start-finish straight. This is the point where people want to pit for lap 14 to lap 17. That's quite interesting because I don't think anybody is going to take that option other than Mo. Oh, and maybe Jim actually, whose tyres will be worse for wear at this moment in time. TTM Rally still kind of trying to stay in that slipstream, trying to gain a bit of extra time. Not much he can do though. It's a bit of a bumpy start for him over those curbs as he comes around the top apex. Really nicely done as he comes onto the straight line now. He unleashes all of the horsepower from that Ferrari V6 twin turbocharged engine. As we now watch, he's gonna have a flying start on this guy. There's nothing that anybody can say. This was clean racing. He's side by side coming in. This is really, really good racing, guys. Is Rally going to hold on? He does. He squeezes Jim wide off the track. Very nicely done there from Rally. As that is TTM Rally up into P3 in this race so far. And that battle that TTM Rally had with Jim has now invited Reckless into the party. Reckless is just behind Jim at this point. We're going to see anything else that happens. We've got a little bit of a yellow, so a car obviously going a little bit wide. SNRC Parker on fresh tyres. He is at the back of the pack at this moment in time. Oh, Jim really struggling through the apexes of Sector 1. Is that going to invite Reckless in? He is going to take the inside line. Really nicely done, but they're going to be too wide. And that does look like Reckless just got through there. Really nicely done there. Fantastic move from AMG Reckless. AMG Reckless up into P4. And that's Bird 87. He's chasing down Kieran 140 at the moment. X was still in P11. He's managed to try and maintain it, but Lord Ricaz is in a bit of a position right now to take that lead, take that position off of him if he makes any mistakes. But Bird is trying to chase down Kieran at this point, and it's not going too well for him. As now Grimmy is within 0.7 of Smithy in front, who was just leading away with this race ever since the restart. We are just over halfway through this race here at the Vietnam Street Circuit in Hanoi, Vietnam. It's a shame that we're not going to be racing around here for a wee while. It does look like a weird track, and it was going to be interesting for the F1 circuit. Something different. But Grimmy is really chasing down Smithy now. There's not much that Smithy can do. He just has to avoid making a mistake. As it does look like Grimmy is just going to catch him on the next straight. just staying in that slipstream. Smithy trying to make him make a mistake, but it's not too easy on one of these cars in the wet to make somebody make a mistake. They're going to do it themselves if they're going to make a mistake. As that is Grimmy now. 0.4 off the back of Smithy. This is going to be a close race from these two guys. Again, not utilising that dry line that's starting to kind of almost form up on the outside apex. It's really awesome to watch from the lower T-cam camera how the car behaves around Sector 3. Oh, and it does look like Grimmy's diving into the pits. Now that could be a weird, strange change of strategy from Grimmy there from behind. I don't know what he's thinking, but I wonder if he feels that if he pits now, gets another set of freshes on, that maybe Smithy's going to have to pit again, and he could regain the lead. As both TTM Rally and Reckless are going to be running a little bit stiff on those tyres. You don't want to be going for any more than about 15 laps on these tyres. They're not really made for going any more than that. So they might be looking to pit soon as well. Grimmy coming out in P7 at that moment in time on some fresh inter tyres. And Lord, Exo, United Aura, Mo, Rikaz and Jeremy all coming into the pits for fresh tyres as well. So that could be a good play from all the drivers down in the lower half to see if they can push themselves up those last 6 spots into the points. Hoonigan now up into P4. He's challenging AMG Reckless. That is interesting. He's got newer tyres. He's going to come down the outside and he's going to close the door on Reckless. Very nicely done again from Hoonigan. A lot of moves being made down at that bottom hairpin today. And, you know, I can see many more happening. But Bird is trying to bring that car through the apexes now of Sector 3. He's having a little bit of a slide. The car in front, Mr. Kieran 140. And he's going to dive into the pits. Might be a good call. We have 10 laps of racing to go in this Vietnam Grand Prix. And there we go. 3 drivers already opting to go in the pits. Both Smithy, Reckless, and Kieran going into the pits. But has the undercut worked for Grimmy? As he is going to be out in front at the moment on Smithy. Which is very interesting as this is going to be these 2 drivers battling out to the end. Hoonigan and TTM Rally both still need to do one more pit stop. Smithy struggling to actually keep pace in those tyres. Obviously, 1 lap fresher, but they are not warm enough to be challenging Grimmy at this moment in time. He is within the slipstream. But coming down through into the bottom hairpin, nothing that Smithy could do to get past Grimmy at that moment in time. But at the moment, Kieran 140, he's having a battle with his teammate Jim, who was actually leading this race for about 5 laps until he started having tyre trouble and had to dive into the pits for fresh tyres at the moment. But he is still in the points. These top 10 drivers right now, Parker rounding off that top 10 in 10th position. He's about 2.7 ahead of Lord NL. Grimmy setting a 148.881. Obviously, fresher tires, less weight in the car, and also it does seem to look like it is starting to stop the rain being so aggressive out there. So maybe that dry line is starting to form a little bit, as you do see the line just is appearing. As that is GJ Dizzle decided to dive into the pits now. Smithy is actually really dropped behind Grimmy at this moment in time. He's going to be struggling. Bird up into P5, but he is not going to be making any headway with 11-lap-old inters. He's going to need one more pit stop, and he will be the last driver, him and Raleigh, to pit. And it'll be interesting to see where these guys come out when they do pit. But there we go, Kieran 140. He had a look down the inside of GJ Dizzle, but it wasn't enough room for him to make that move. A lot of drivers been trying to cut that chicane all day. Does look like Kieran is right on the back of GJ Dizzle. This could be a move down into the back straight now. As we watch, he is tucking right into the back of the rear ring of that AMG Mercedes-Benz. The Alfa Romeo Racing Kieran 140. Is he going to have enough pace coming down into the bottom straight here? No, he doesn't. I think GJ Dizzle using all of his ERS deployment there to try and stay out of any risk from Kieran 140. Hoonigan getting a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Now that is interesting. He's obviously just made a mess of that there, and Kieran 140 making a mess out of the set of section there, but Grimmy going faster again. That is interesting. He is just pulling away from Smithy. Smithy a whole 2.5 seconds down right now on Grimmy 97.02, who is leading this race for Aston Martin Red Bull Racing. Hoonigan and Raleigh both jumping into the pits now. Very interesting to see, but Smithy, again, he has fresh tyres. Grimmy, you know, his tyres are not as fresh at that moment. They're about 2 laps younger than what is Smithy's. Sorry, 2 laps older. SNRC Parker looking to go to the end on 8-lap holds. Bird still needing to pit. He's running in third at the moment in time. TTM Rally as well. Potentially, if the race finished right now, he would be up into P4 as Hoonigan has that 5-second penalty. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2 as a little bit of contact has left one of the 2 sister Red Bull cars stranded at the top hairpin there, and I think it was Exo, which is very unfortunate for him. I think he just got tagged by Lord Ricaz, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But Kieran 140 still trying to push GJ Dizzle for everything he can. There's not a lot of time at the moment that can be made up. United Aura is having a bit of a chase on Mo. They've been having it at all race. So, if we see any more racing, we'll just keep you informed. We're going to jump between some drivers, and we'll keep you informed. We're on board with Parker at the moment, who's going through the final sector now. He's just about to come across the line. Bird has now decided to pit. He's dropped out of the points because of that pit stop. Is he going to get out in front of Lord NL? I think he does. He just makes it, so he's in P9 at that moment in time. So, you know, managing to salvage some points from starting at the back of the grid there. GJ Dizzle still having a little bit of a bout, trying to catch Jim in front of him, but I don't know how long that battle it would last for. Let's just jump up to leader and we'll just watch him fly around the track as he's nearly 5 seconds up on Smithy at this point. He's really got into the groove with his Red Bull, and we're going to see him probably come across the line in first if he doesn't make any mistakes. Seven laps to go left of this Grand Prix of Vietnam. Hoonigan, 147.7. He's really pushing the car that he has. He is currently in third position. He got knocked down a little bit. I think he had damage and he had to pit early. But he is looking to try and catch up with Smithy to see if he can, you know, almost gain a 5-second gap and keep that 5-second gap to Raleigh so that he keeps P free. All the drivers starting to spread out a little bit now. Very wet Sunday here at Vietnam in Hanoi. But again, 5 seconds gap there between Grimmy and Smithy at that moment in time is, you know, for the top guys, very much interesting, as it's very much feel-based at this moment of the race to see how much you can put pressure-wise on the car and see where you're going to go. As Bird looks like he's going to make a move on Kieran. He's just close enough, but not enough to make that move on Kieran. He had a look, but just couldn't get the car in. He knew that if he was going to do it, it would have to be a dive bomb, and that's very dangerous, especially when it's wet. Again, Bird 87 struggling to push just that little bit more on Kieran. You know, he has the pace. He is looking to try and make a move on Kieran, but he lost a lot of time through Sector 3 to him. Can Bird make up another position? This would be a very much worthy of driver of the day if he does, starting at the back of the grid to finish in P8, hold 10 positions up roughly from where he started on the grid. We've had 2 retirements today. GJ Dizzle now looking to have another move on Jim. He's not close enough down this straight, but he might have a little bit more when it comes to the next one. Using all of that ERS deployment. Jim trying to shake the toe. Is it going to be enough though? He's not going to send it. He's going to have a look. Oh, a bit of contact. Bashing side pods. I think he's going to let him have that position because he knows that was a dirty move. Five laps left to go. This 5-lap mad dash to try and get yourself high up in the points. Bird's made a few mistakes now, and that is Kieran capitalized on that, and he's got a whole 1.5 seconds gap now on Bird. Only action on track at the moment is between GJ Dizzle and Jim. Jim doing very well to defend off of GJ Dizzle, who had a little bit of a go at him at the bottom hairpin, but contact ensued that GJ Dizzle was going to have to give that place back. So he did. Very nicely done from him as well. GJ Dizzle is now chasing him down. This is the first of many long straights on this track. Not close enough yet. He is going to have a look down this straight, though. We're going to stay on board with him, as I think Jim's using all of that ERS he has. And so is GJ Dizzle. These guys matching in pace at this moment in time. Yeah, I think GJ Dizzle isn't going to be using all of that ERS just yet. Oh, he runs deep. Jim is going to have to capitalize on that now. Again, Jim is just trying to catch him, catch a break from GJ Dizzle. AMG Reckless is quite far up there now. Now we're going to see, this is it. This is very much it. About 4 laps left of racing. Smithy's tried to close the gap to Grimmy in front, but I don't know if it'll be enough, as Hoonigan is trying to make a difference on that 5-second time penalty to Smithy. Again, very interesting to see the line that Jim's been taking through there. He's been quite aggressive over the curbs, smashing over the sausages. Maybe the sausage curbs need to be a little bit heightened, but again, we're not going to be racing here anytime soon. But GJ Dizzle, again, very close. Hoonigan, though, even closer. So we see he's still got half of his DRS deployment still left to use. Is he going to use it down this next lap because he knows he's close enough to Smithy to make a move? Or is he just comfortable with that 9-second lead he's got on Rally, that he knows he's not going to make 5 seconds on Smithy, so he's just got to battle with it. He knows he's got that comfortable 3rd place, even with that 5-second penalty. Hopefully, within the next season of SNRC, we are going to have the interview panels and everything set up for after the race, so that we can speak to the drivers and get their opinions on the race. But there we go, Hoonigan just closing up that gap to Smithy now. He is only 0.4 off of him. He's eating all of that air that Smithy is pushing over the car now. Oh, look at that. That's very efficient from Smithy. He is just using the momentum he gained out of that corner to try and shake the effective, what could be considered slipstream. And they're side by side. This is going to be a good move from Hoonigan. He's locking up, but he does make it stick. Very nicely done from Smithy not to cause any contact there. But Hoonigan now in front. He is now in P2. He will lose P2 though if he doesn't gain a 5-second gap to Smithy. And he's actually run a little bit deep, and so has Smithy. Both cars, both actually making a mess of Sector 3 there. Smithy better keep his foot on that gas pedal for the next 3 laps. Otherwise, he is going to be at risk. This could be the problem if he can't keep that 1 second or within 5 seconds of the car in front. He is going to lose that P2 position. Grimmy is going to take P1 in this race. He's only got 2 laps left to go. Smithy. Only 1.6 now. Mo, though, trying to get into the points right now with Parker. He's just really close. It's not going to be enough, though. Is there going to be a bit of a challenge on the next few straights, though? Smithy is now 2 seconds down off of Hoonigan. Hoonigan using all of that reserve ERS he has to try and get that 5-second gap on Smithy. Kieran also trying to get that extra points in as he is battling now with GJ Dizzle. Exo gets a 3-second time penalty from multiple warnings. A lot of drivers now battling to try and get into the points. Parker is almost bunching these guys up on those old tires. He is at risk here. Mo is a lot faster than him on the straight line. He is going to have a look down the inside. Are we going to see a move from Mo into the hairpin? And we are. Parker is just going to let him by. Is Lord NL. Lord NL's going to get by as well. So that's Parker now out at the points. SNRC Mo now in the points. And that's SNRC Smithy. 2.8 seconds down off of Hoonigan. He's got to not make a mistake. Otherwise, he is going to lose that position to Hoonigan. Very interesting. Oh, he has a little bit of a slide through Sector 3. Oh, sorry, Sector 1. I was looking at the wrong part of the track. 3.3. This is the final lap. So if he makes a mistake now, he is going to lose the effective P2 that he has because of the 5-second time penalty that Hoonigan has gained for speeding in the pit lane. You know, SNRC Parker trying to get to the end. United Aura might have him as well towards the end of the race. Hoonigan also trying to challenge Grimmy, but it isn't going to be enough. Jeremy and Exo have been battling this whole race as well. And let's see now as Grimmy comes round the final two complexes. Hoonigan trying to catch up, but it isn't going to be enough. And here we are, the winner of the Vietnam Grand Prix of the Sunday Night Race Club Season 2 is Grimmy 9702. In second is SNRC Smithy. And in third goes to Hoonigan 403. Fantastic racing all round from these guys. Fourth place, TTM Raleigh in the Ferrari. And in fifth, we're going to see come across the line AMG Reckless. He just couldn't bring his A game today. I think he just was struggling with his strategy a little bit on those intercompound tires. And there we are, Jim crossing in 6th and Kieran just behind in 7th. GJ Dizzle in 8th. Bird is coming round the final corner. We're going to see him take 9th position on the track. SNRC Mo taking the final point available. And he goes 8th. That's interesting. I don't know what's going on there. I'm just going to say that the timing is glitched for that point. Hopefully that everybody understands that, yeah, Hoonigan 403 getting driver of the day there. Fantastic recovery drive from him after making a few mistakes earlier on, which cost position for him. And there he is, Grimmy 9702, taking the win of the Vietnam Grand Prix. A very wet Vietnam Grand Prix it was. Red Bull Racing will be very proud to say that he is the man they have on the podium. Good driving all round today of the Sunday Night Race Club. If you'd like to see more, make sure to follow all our social medias at Sunday Night Race Club, and also make sure that you follow both channels, the Sunday Night Race Club, this one that we're on, and Sunday Night Race Club 2, where you can see all the other action that happens with the group here at Sunday Night Race Club. I have been Andrew Gatton, and this has been Sunday Night Race Club Race 3 Season 2, the Vietnam Grand Prix. I hope you have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you guys again soon.